It is September 14th, 2017. We are here at 3876 Carancho Street in La Mesa, California, 91941. We're going to inspect the main sewer line for the house. We're here on the rooftop and we're above the hall bathroom. This is an original 3-inch cast iron vent. This will lead directly into the beginning of the main sewer line for this hall bathroom. See there, you can see the toilet T-junction dumping in. This appears to be newer ABS plastic pipe that we entered into right here. And we actually can see that the other two vents on the bathroom on the rooftop are plastic, as well as the other side of the house. So part of this has all been replaced and upgraded. So here we're now entering into the main sewer line. This is newer ABS plastic pipe. Still all new plastic line right here. Okay, here it appears we have a coupling and our transition possibly back into, nope, still ABS plastic. Thought we might be going into the cast iron by now, but it is still plastic. Okay, here's our transition into clay concrete pipe. So we now have 4-inch clay concrete pipe running across. Okay, here we have roots intruding in the system here. So you can see we've got a root ball growing in from that hub. I'm going to go ahead and take a photo of this. We'll come back and locate this. We're going to continue down the line. Okay, here's the next hub, and we have a large intrusion here. We're going to go ahead and pause the video for 1 second to go ahead and run some water down the system to clean off our camera lens. Okay, so we're back to the first intrusion. We can see we ran some water through both of the toilets just to clean off our lens just a little bit. So here was the second intrusion on the line. Take a quick photo of that. This is at the very next coupling. See a little bit of growth in both of those that needs to be maintained and cleaned out here. Another little coupling, that one's clear. That's clear. Next coupling is clear. We're clear there. So far all the other couplings are clear. A little bit of water just hanging out on the bottom of the pipe before that turn. And here's our end of the line dumping into the city in the middle of the street here. So, including the vertical vent, we're out just a little bit around, past about 100 feet. And so now we're going to go ahead and pull back the camera to where the two root intrusions are so we can locate those and see how deep they are on the property. We're going to pause the video. Okay, we've located this second root intrusion. This is 47 inches deep, so just short of 4 feet deep. It is on the left side of the front lawn as you leave the front door of the house, whereas you're approaching the house, the right side, which would be the north side of the front lawn. There are 2 trees in the front, and this is the sewer line passing directly underneath the path of that tree. and in front of it, going more towards the house, is where this intrusion is at. We have it marked with some green paint on the ground, as well as a green flag denoting roots at 47 inches deep. So we're now going to go ahead and back up to the one that's just behind it, literally by just a couple feet. And there's the first intrusion we came by. So right at that coupling there. So we'll go ahead and pause the video and locate this one and mark it out. Okay, so this intrusion is just a couple feet in front of the second intrusion, and this is at 45 inches deep. And we've got it marked also with some green paint and a flag in the ground. So again, there's the first intrusion, and just a couple feet away is the second intrusion. So right now the line is completely functional and the roots aren't too heavy. The second intrusion, they're growing on the top and side walls, which is better. The first intrusion here, they're growing on the bottom side, so that's more apt to grab at feces and paper as it's trying to roll by and snag on the line. Again, it's not huge at this point. It's barely blocking maybe 15% of the line, if that. But again, it will need to be at some point maintained, and either a hydrojetting can be done to rip all the roots out, or if a clean out ever is installed with a full 4-inch size, then a very large root cutting blade can be put onto a drain cable. Other than that, if the line's not going to be dug up and actually just repaired, then it will require a yearly foaming chemical treatment, which the homeowner or a plumber can do to keep these roots from growing on a consistent basis so they get to the point to cause a stoppage. So we're now going to go ahead and pull back on to the line, back towards the house. We're going to go ahead and locate the transition to clay to plastic and see how close that is to the house. Okay, here it is already. And then we'll pull back a little bit further from that just to denote where some cleanouts could be installed if they ever wanted to do that at the shallowest point in the line, other than if there's somewhat access from the crawl space, which typically there's not going to be very good access to bring a machine or hydrojetting all the way around to that area. So we're going to pause the video right here and locate this transition. Okay, so we located that transition, and it is just, about 8 feet back from that first root intrusion. So the pipe is still almost 4 feet deep, just below that. So it wouldn't be a worthwhile area to put in cleanouts. We're now going to back up on the line a little bit further. Have a coupling right there. Just making sure we don't see any buried cleanouts on the line. So we're now getting close to the foundation wall of the house. So what we're going to do is we're now going to relocate right here to see how far we are across the lawn. So we're going to pause the video. Okay, we're going to pull back further. We're still about 10 feet away from getting to the front landscape bed of the house near the foundation wall. So definitely all straight new ABS plastic pipe in good condition, but don't see any cleanouts that were put in. So we're going to stop right here and go ahead and locate and see how close we are to a diggable area outside the foundation wall still. Okay, so the distance we're out right here, we've gone ahead and located the line in the front landscaping bed before it gets to the bushes in front of the windows, so it would be a diggable area. And the pipe is just a little over 2 feet deep at about 27 inches deep to the bottom, and we've put some green spray paint on the dirt, which isn't going to hold, so we'll insert another flag. So this would be the area that if the root intrusion now, they wanted to more easily maintain it with both snaking, the hydrojetting, or the chemical, that's where that would need to be put in. So the other clay junctions, don't have roots now, but they could in the future, of course, because of all the trees in the neighborhood. So that would be the only other reason why you'd possibly want to go ahead and not dig up the 2 intrusions, but prefer just to spend that little bit of digging time of installing the clean outs at the shallower depth by the front of the house for access, because again, even though only 2 of the intrusions are occurring right now at those clay hubs, the clay hubs are very susceptible because of how they're joined by just pushing together with a rubber boot. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pause the video and move a second camera over to above the master bathroom and push through that to show where these 2 lines intersect and to make sure there's nothing wrong with that portion of the main sewer. Okay, now we're at a second camera. We're here over the master bathroom. So this has a new 2-inch ABS vent. So this was replaced all the way to the rooftop. A lot of cobwebs there. Here's a T-junction where it's picking up the other vent. Here's a turn on the line. Here's where the toilet is entering. So we're now in the sewer main. Looks like possibly smaller 3-inch right here. And we'll dump into the 4. So this line is all brand new, in good shape. No issues here. Okay, here we have a T-junction. Looks like they may have not used the combo fitting, but a sanitary T-fitting. Supposed to use a sweep 90, but doesn't matter. Our camera made it through there, so a drain cable would be able to do the same if it ever had to be snaked. We just passed the T-junctions and we're picking up the kitchen and laundry. Now running across, and here you go. We just dumped into where the other cable and other camera in the line, so this is where these 2 intersect. We're now just going to push down here. We put a centering guide on this camera, unlike the first one, so this lifts it off the ground a little bit more and lights up the area a little bit better. We didn't do it on the first camera just because we didn't know what we were going to land up encountering to try to push by. So here's the end of that camera where we just located in the front bed of the house. So now we're going to go ahead and just push back out to those root intrusions here if we can. We're out quite a long ways with this different push rod. We may have to run a little bit of water to get this pushed out. Yeah, we're going to pause the video for a second just to get this pushed out all the way. Okay, so we ran that water and got our camera here out to the first intrusion. So now what we did find by adding the little centering guide on the second camera that we came through is that right as we back up here, here's a little turn on the line, and right after this turn there actually is a clean out. So this is the original property line clean out. It's in clay right there. Kind of hard to see, but that is a T-fitting, and that is a curvature up on the pipe right there. You can kind of see the shadows above the curve. So there actually is a clean out on this property, and so this is what actually would just be dug down to and brought up to surface, and this is where you would clean and maintain the line. Now this pipe is probably not extended very far up, but you just never know. So the pipe is probably going to be, again, just barely below 4 feet deep, but the T-junction sticking upwards for the clean out may be a foot less or even a couple feet less. You really unfortunately don't know until you start digging. There's no way to tell. So we're now going to go and position our camera underneath this and go ahead and mark and locate this on the property. Okay, we've located this buried clay clean out. This is right at about 46 inches deep, so hopefully it was extended a little bit above the T. If not, it's going to have to be dug again about 40 inches to get to the T, the cap, and then cut it off undo it and extend it up to surface. Then the roots can be cleaned out via snaking, and then a foaming chemical treatment can be done. Our company can go ahead and provide this service. Should be right around about $800 to $850 to do all that work of installing the clean out to surface, and then snaking and cleaning out those roots, and then doing a chemical foaming treatment for the first time. So that concludes the recording for this property.